But ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind. Job 12:7-10. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Kicking Feet Outdoors. Today, I'm going to be walking you through some essential gear for waterfowl hunting. And just a reminder, don't fret, all you hunters out there. Hunting season is just around the corner. I know for here in Ohio, dove season starts on September 1st, and today is August 1st. So it's just around the corner. The countdown is on. Soon we'll all be getting out there and doing what we love. So just hang tight. We're almost to the hunting season this year. But to kick things off, I'm going to start here with a blind bag. Now, this is my go-to blind bag. I've had this since I was just a little youngster, back when I was first started out waterfowl hunting. But this blind bag has everything you need, okay? So it's got some side pockets where you can put extra pieces, including a phone and whatnot. It's got a big front pocket here. Of course, this top here unbuttons and comes open, and there's plenty of space inside there for coffee, snacks, whatever it is. That's the thing I like most about duck hunting, is the fact that ducks can't smell. So you could take all your lickies and chewies out there and enjoy yourself and not have to fret about something smelling you. Something I don't have up here that'd be good to include into your blind bag though is some toilet paper, hand warmers, definitely extra shotgun shells, of course your hunting license, and a water bottle. So don't forget to include those kind of things. And speaking of the blind bag, another good option, and if you don't want to go the blind bag route, is a backpack. I bought this backpack when I was up in Alaska waterfowl hunting over the Palmer hay flats, and this made it really nice because I was able to sling it, put my load on my back, and then you have to wade through about waist deep water for about 3/4 of a mile to get out to where you want to hunt. And so this made it really easy and a lot more comfortable, just because I was able to throw all the weight on my back and keep my balance as I was walking instead of having something just slinged over my shoulder. But it's definitely hunter's preference. Just get something that best suits you, that makes you most comfortable. And I'm all about matching my camo, so try to keep it the same pattern. If it's like this grassy pattern, which is your typical camo for waterfowl. So up next, I've got what I'd call lanyards. Not the lanyard for your duck calls, but a lanyard to hold your harvests. So a couple different options here. I have this one, and I believe this is Banded brand. This is something that you clip to your wader hook, or even just sling over your shoulder, and put the duck or goose head through this bit, and then push it down, and it'll cinch, and you can put quite a few ducks or geese on one of these. But another option is this homemade one that my best friend Rob made me out of paracord. So you could always make something like this too, and works pretty much the same way, where this paracord just slips through there, you put the head through there, and then it'll cinch down. So, and same concept, you throw it over your shoulder or tie it to your belt or whatever. So something like that'd be good. That way, post hunt, especially if you're out in the field, hunting out in the field, you're walking back, you've already got enough stuff to carry. Something simple like that, where you can toss it over your shoulder, clip it to yourself, and then you don't even have to worry about it. And then obviously you're not dropping stuff as you're walking either. So moving on to lickies and chewies, maybe something you want to take with you would be a good thermos. More often than not, it's usually pretty cold when you're out waterfowl hunting, so get you a good thermos that you can put hot chocolate or coffee in. So this one's Stanley brand, really good, trustworthy brand that holds temperature very well, and it's the grass pattern, so it matches your waterfowl camo. And before I forget, just some items that I don't have up here readily available to include on this video. Obviously, it depends on what type of waterfowl hunting you're doing, whether that be hunting out of a hunting blind over water, or if you're field hunting. So things that you might want to include depending on what you're doing would be definitely a good pair of waders. Like my waders I have came from Cabela's, and they're like mid-torso waders, I would say. They don't have the straps that go over your shoulders, but they're not hip waders either. I prefer those ones just because I'm a little shorter, and it seems like even the smallest pair of over-the-shoulder waders I can't fit into. So, but get you a good pair of waders and something that's going to keep you dry and keep you warm. And the other thing I don't have up here with me currently are my duck decoys. Now, I'm not one to go out and buy the most expensive decoys I can find. Just a really good option somewhere to go to buy duck decoys or goose decoys would be Amazon. I'm not for sure the exact prices, but I know a couple years ago I was able to get, you know, half a dozen mallard decoys, and they were well under $50, which is pretty cheap. So check out Amazon and see if you can get some decoys on there for cheap. Something that'll be good for you for your waterfowl season. So moving on, I think the next bit I talk about before we get into some clothing items here, duck calls. Now, I am not going to give you any examples of me blowing duck calls because I'm not very good, okay? So I'm not gonna embarrass myself on TV here, but if you can't do a feeder call on you know, one of your mallard calls, this is, you know, a feeder chuckle here is probably next best bet, because I can't do it on a call anyways. So you're able to just take one of these and wiggle it like that and make a good duck call, which usually grabs something's attention. But anyways, concerning duck calls here, I've got a pretty big plethora of duck calls on there. I've got like a gadwall call, a few different mallards, there's a whistle, a wood duck call, and a couple different goose calls. So try to keep a bunch of different calls on there. That way you're always prepared, and that way you're not having to switch everything in and out depending on what you're hunting. And you know, this lanyard that I got for my duck calls, I bought that off of Amazon for I think right around 20 bucks, and it's definitely the best duck call lanyard that I have to date, because let me count it up real quick, because it holds a lot of duck calls, like 13 calls, and it's pretty slick, and it's just made out of pea cord, and it's green and tan, so you know, kind of camo. But you know, get you something that's most comfortable for yourself. So moving on to some of the not so clothing items, but they go along with your clothing. If you're wearing waders and you're hunting water, definitely get you some of these wader bands that you can put around your ankles. Of course you're going to probably have pants on, you know, underneath your waders, and that's going to keep your pants cinched down on your ankles, so that way they're not riding up when you're putting on your waders. Get you a pair of those. Those are lifesavers. And now time to talk about this bandolier. I think it's so important to have a bandolier when you're out waterfowl hunting, because more than likely you've got birds circling you all the time, you're taking shots here and there, and you're probably going through ammo pretty quick. So something that you can get, put around your waist and clip them on there, and you know, fill it up with all your ammunition. That way you're not constantly reaching into your bag to pull out extra shells. And this also helped really well if you're hunting off of a kayak. I know up in Alaska, when I was hunting the flats, you know, there wasn't really much room in my single person kayak, so I didn't have an opportunity to be reaching around pulling shells from random places. You know, I think that bandolier holds 25 rounds. That's what I put in there, and that's what I went out with on my hunt. And you know, I didn't have to worry about trying to take everything out of a box and resupply. You know, I had everything I needed right then and there. So get your bandolier. It's definitely gonna save you in the long run. Okay, moving on to the clothing items, and this is probably gonna be sort of fast and furious, so just roll along here with me. But up first, I've got a hand warmer, and it acts as another bandolier. This thing, you know, you just cinch it around your waist, and now you've got something nice and cozy to put your hands in, because definitely, you know, especially for some of them colder hunts. And the neat little thing about them, which I think most hand warmers these days do this, but it's got this pocket in here, so you could set your phone in there, you know, some hand warmers, the ones that you shake, put those in there, and you know, now you got something to keep your hands nice and toasty. something that I think is definitely underutilized is a net gaiter. Now, like I mentioned earlier, waterfowl can't smell, but what they lack in smell, they make up for it in sight. And it's super important, in my opinion, to have as much of your skin covered as possible. Now, I've got a couple different net gaiters here. So this one is real light, thin material, and this would be good for your early season when it's still warm out. But again, just super important to try to keep as much skin covered as possible. And when I say that, I mean your neck and your ears. So, and this other net gaiter I've got, it's an Avery brand net gaiter, but it's super soft and warm. And the cool thing as well, it's got this little cinch up here at the top, so then you can pull it tight, keep it taut around your neck, and it ain't gonna move up and down or all around, you know. Keeping all your skin covered as much as possible is gonna prevent flaring birds, and you're gonna be more successful the more you cover up your skin. I can promise you that. So speaking of gloves, got a few different options here. Now these are some wader type material gloves. They're waterproof, and these are long because they're meant for setting out decoys when you're hunting water. You know, when you're putting decoys down or bringing them back up, whether you're beginning your hunt or ending it, you're going to get wet. And something like these is going to keep you nice and dry, especially in them colder months when it's icy water and whatnot. So these are a good pair of gloves to have, especially if you're hunting water. And these ones here are a really good example, and they're the same brand. They are Glacier gloves, but it's the same material like that wader type brand, but they're shorter. So, you know, figure out what you like best. Honestly, I don't have a preference. Either one's good for me. But side note, they aren't really gloves that are made to be shooting. They don't bend as well. So for your trigger finger, I don't suggest wearing these if you're done setting up and you're actually actively in the hunt. Probably not a good option. Get you a different pair of gloves. The third pair of gloves that I have here are some just really soft, warm, insulated gloves that are real good for the for your cold months. So just keep in mind that it's super important just to have as much warm material as possible for those cold months, because you don't want to have to leave your hunt early because you're cold. And you know, this is a saying that I've said all along growing up, and especially in the Army, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So, you know, take stuff that might seem unessential to you because it might prove essential later down the road. So I think last thing on the table before I get to some more clothing items here would be get you a good beanie. You know, I know for like, especially in the mornings, it's kind of nice to have something with the bill. Usually you've got a headlamp on, and that makes it nice because it can sit there on that hat bill. But that's obviously not covering your ears. So for the cold months, you're going to want to get you a good beanie. I've got a few different options here. This one is Under Armour brand, and it's kind of got a fleece inside. And this one is Avery brand, and it's complete fleece, super cozy. And this one is pretty much your typical beanie that you'd find, but it's Ducks Unlimited. So get a good beanie. You're going to want something to slip on your head. You know, that way once you're done setting up decoys and you're ready to start your hunt, you're good to warm back up and keep warm and have a good successful hunt. So up next, something that I got years ago that was on clearance. I don't even remember where, but that's not important. But something that it's something that I've been using ever since. I would call this like a wader jacket. It is Columbia brand. I've never seen it since I got it. But anyways, back when this was brand new, you can see it's got that shiny material on the inside, and that reflects the heat back into your body. But also, you know, half of it's camo, half of it's brown, and this camo top is actually water resistant, and this bottom brown bit is fleece, and it's strictly meant to be worn with your waders. So your wader material comes up here and covers that fleece, which is not water resistant, but then up top you've got this water resistant bit, so it almost makes a complete, you know, water resistant suit, if you will. The only thing that I would knock this for is the fact that it doesn't have a hood, but that's why I usually wear like a sweatshirt underneath, and something, you know, that way I can pull the hood up and protect the back of my neck, keep warm. Anyways, if you can find something like this, I highly suggest getting it. It's going to be really good for your water hunts when you're wearing waders. A couple of more expensive items that I have up here are some Banded brand pants and a Banded brand top, like jacket. And you know, they're definitely well worth the money spent. The things that I like about them the most, of course, they are water resistant. Not waterproof, but water resistant. And they do have some Velcro material down here at the bottom, so you can cinch it around your boots. They're completely this like fleece wool type material there on the inside, and they're super warm. So I don't recommend these for early season, but for a late season hunt, these are perfect. Plenty of pockets. Yeah, just overall really good pair of pants. You know, if you don't have to wear waders and you're out doing a field hunt, these are great. I wore these up in Minnesota last November on our goose hunting up there, and they you know, it was pretty cold up there during the time my buddy and I was up there, but those proved to be really good pants. Kept me nice and warm, had no issues with them at all. And to follow up on them, the matching jacket here, let's see, it is a full zip and plenty of pockets. And again, it's got a fleece inside, super soft, but you definitely want to wear a coat with this if it's any colder out. It's pretty thin, it's not huge, it's a really good base layer, if you will. And the last two items I want to talk about before I make my conclusion would be get you a good jacket or a raincoat, or a coat for that matter in general. So a couple different options I've got here is this Drake brand rain jacket. Now, it's not insulated on the inside. It is strictly keep you dry from the rain. So this thing proved to be a really good purchase when I was up in Alaska on the flats hunting during the rainy months. You know, so the key during your stormy months when you're hunting, you know, is to stay dry. Get you something that's going to keep you dry. This also acts as a really good windbreaker. You can wear it over sweatshirts or multiple layers. If you're gonna buy a jacket for that purpose, I recommend getting a size up. That way you can fit all your other layers underneath, like your sweatshirt, long johns, whatever. And the other option I have here is a coat, but it is also, it's made out of the same rain jacket material as the Drake jacket that I just showed you. So it's completely waterproof on the outside, but it's also insulated on the inside, if you can tell. You know, big heavy jacket, and something like that's going to keep you really warm. So I definitely recommend getting something like that. It's going to be a good purchase and help you along the way. So obviously there's a lot that goes into waterfowl hunting. I know that I did miss a lot. These are just some big ticket items that I'd recommend having. I know I didn't cover everything, and I didn't really get into the real nitty gritty of duck hunting. Just biggest takeaways are, you know, keep yourself warm when it's cold out, keep yourself dry when it's wet out, and also keep as much of your skin covered up as possible. Otherwise you're going to spook ducks or geese, whatever you're hunting, you're going to spook it. And that goes along the whole board, you know, whatever you're hunting, deer, coyotes, you know, moose, elk, whatever it is you're hunting, you want to keep as much skin covered as possible. You know, try not to forget your hands, don't forget your neck, don't forget your ears. That's what something's going to pick you out of you know, of the background and be like, yep, that's a person. So, but anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys' support and for viewing everything and watching everything. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys, and continue to keep an eye out. Like I said in the beginning, we are getting closer here to season. So I've got some food plot videos coming up soon. Continued work on something that I haven't talked about at all yet. And probably following this, I'll probably do like a turkey hunting pack list. So we'll see how everything goes. Definitely feel free to comment below whatever I did miss, some ideas that you have. I would like to buy some things for the upcoming season, so let me know. I'll probably buy it and include it in my hunts this year. Don't forget to hit the like button, share with your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Stick with it.